Hey, Eski here, bringing you my 7 build guide. So in this build guide, we're going to be looking at skill build, item build, basic combos, and just the play style around 7 and when you want to farm. Full credit to Zergy. This build is heavily inspired from his 7 build. If you end up liking the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the guide. And if you like this content, please subscribe because I have a lot more of it. Let's get into it. Let's go over the skill build. So the first point we're going to get is in static charge for that cooldown reduction on our stun. Then we're going to go all the way up into lightning ball because the 5 point really gives us a lot of ease in farming the jungle, ease in farming waves. So that's what we want. Then we're going to go all the way up into power surge. The 5-pointer on this one improves our spirit scaling and it jumps more. So we do more AoE damage. That's going to give us a big, huge power spike in the mid game. Then all the way up in stun for that extra duration, and then finally all the way up in our ultimate. Let's go over the items. So the item build here for the laning phase I think is pretty typical. Some of the big callouts here is Infuser is going to be a big power spike for you because when you pop that with your 3-up, if you have a stun on them as well, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. The way that you're going to be able to sustain in lane, sprint boots, extra spirit, and monster rounds all give you health regen. That on top of the health regen buff that 7 got really lets you stay in lane. If you're against a super hard lane or maybe you're in the solo lane, I think healing right's definitely a good buy. You can replace that enduring spirit with healing right, and then reactive barrier if you're against a lane like a Bebop, for example, that wants to combo you. Let's look down here at the core build. I think Fleetfoot is a great buy early because it gives you that mobility as you're left clicking with your 3. Spirit Lifesteal, this is going to be the cue for you to go jungle because once you have Spirit Lifesteal, you should have at least 2 points in your ball lightning at that point, and you should be doing a pretty good amount of damage. And on top of that, with the Spirit Lifesteal, you're going to be able to keep yourself sustained while you jungle. A few more callouts here. Quicksilver Reload, I like a lot on 7. I put it on my 1 because at the end of the day, you're going to have at least 2 charges of that. It's going to be easy to reload your gun with that. And then Surge of Power and Superior Duration, both of these are going on your 3. Obviously, you want your 3 to last as long as possible. And then Surge of Power is great for that extra damage and fire rate. Coming down here to more of the late game items, Toxic Bullets. This is a good buy earlier on if you're against a team with a lot of healing like an Abrams or a Geist or an Infernist. I think that can be bumped up in the build order. Knockdown, I'll show you the combo with Knockdown when it comes to your stun plus Knockdown. I think it's really, really good to self-peel people off of you. Your first 6200, I think, is Spiritual Overflow at this point. It's gotten buffed a lot. It's really, really good for 7. You get Spirit Power and Fire Rate. Your second 6200 is going to be Boundless Spirit. And then if you get this far in the game and one team fight's going to decide the fight, you definitely want Soul Rebirth so you don't get insta-killed. Just touching on some more luxury and conditional items down here. I have all of these annotated. You can see with the blue bar below these items if you want to look at what I specifically would recommend when you buy these. So just a few callouts. Return Fire and Metal Skin are great against Haze and Wraith. Unstoppable is going to against teams that have a lot of CC against you. If you need to be tanky and you're getting dived a lot, Colossus can be good. Debuff Reducer, Debuff Remover for like the pockets and the Infernuses. Silence Glyph if you're against like a Geist, for example, someone that uses a lot of their abilities. Ethereal Shift, once again, if you're getting dived, you can't afford Colossus. And then Escalating Exposure and Titanic Magazine are kind of your luxury buys after you get done with the late game items. And then Suppressor and Mystic Slow, those are just good against left click heroes, Infernus, Haze, Wraith. So let's talk quickly about 7's play style. So the basic play style you're going to have as 7, I basically have my core build right now plus a few items, is you're just going to be popping your 3, dancing around, probably popping your Fleetfoot 2, and kiting as much as possible. If someone gets near you, you'll pop Static Charge plus your Knockdown to stun them, and you're basically functioning almost as an AD carry in this game, where you just want to keep people at range and make sure you're dealing a lot of AoE damage with your 3. The only real time that you want to ultimate is, let's say your 3's down, your 1's down, you have no charges in Lightning Ball, then I would probably jump up in the air and pop your ultimate. But this is a very rare occasion. This build is really not about ulting as 7. You really want to just be using your 3 and your 1 and left clicking a lot to get a lot of damage. So let's talk about the knockdown and static charge combo. So for this combo, pretty basic. You want to hit your knockdown first and then throw your static charge. The knockdown, I'll hit them and stun them. And then pretty soon after that, the static charge will hit them as well. So you have a pretty long stun duration, good for ganking, good for peeling off of you. So real quick, let's talk about jungling as 7. So the big thing that you're going to want to make sure you do is try to position your ball as best you can to hit all of the jungle minions. So throwing the ball at the ground here is going to hit all of them and damage all of them at the same time. You're not always going to be able to do that. It kind of depends on where you're at in the game and if you have the 5-point and lightning ball. But that's the big thing you want to do as 7 is making sure your lightning ball hits as many of the jungle minions as possible so you can efficiently farm. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this build is heavily inspired by Zergy, so full credit to him. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the 7 build? Would you replace any of the items I have in here? If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to my channel. That really, really helps me out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.